Alright, so Halo Infinite's campaign just got released. It's been a lot of fun, been having a blast, but what I've not been having a blast with is reading the news. So we have some Halo Infinite campaign news, and then we have some 343 industry news. So let's just jump into it. There's been some negative stuff happening and some things that have been coming up from some articles that I've been reading from Bloomberg, some things I've been seeing on Twitter. So there's been some activity within 343's industries. There's been some reporters going into the company, kind of talking to some designers, developers, kind of getting their backstory on the development process of the game itself and kind of the ins and outs, the ups and downs, all that kind of stuff that's been happening, and pretty much answers to the things that we were thinking about. Yeah, let's talk about it. Now, really quick before I jump into that though, on some Halo Infinite campaign news, some sad news about what you can do in the game, what you can't do in the game actually, is you can't actually replay missions in the game right now. So that's like a super bummer. I was actually playing the game yesterday for the first time, and I was going into the menu section looking for a replay mission option. So I've gone through about I think 4 or 5 different missions now, and yeah, nothing. There's nothing there. It's kind of a total empty shell as far as the game goes. You have to just basically play the game, and if you want to replay something, you gotta go back and just override your current saved progress, which is just stupid, dude. Yeah, I really hope they do something about that, because that used to be a really cool element for the previous games, especially if you wanted just to play a different difficulty on a level, just to get a different vibe of it. So yeah, don't know what's gonna happen there. Outside of that, the game is actually really fun though, so I'm not gonna completely hate on it. Now on to the not so good news. Okay, so there was an article written on Bloomberg by a couple of reporters that went into 343's industries and actually had a conversation with the design team, the developers, just trying to get a little more insight and backstory on what's been happening. The article here, written by Jason Schreier, it reads, in July 2020, Microsoft Corp showed a 9-minute trailer of Halo Infinite, the latest installment from its blockbuster gaming franchise, which has sold more than 81 million copies and brought in almost $6 billion. Halo fans have been waiting to get a taste of the game since the company first told them about it 2 years earlier, and Microsoft was counting on their enthusiasm to propel sales of its newest Xbox, which it planned to release in the fall. The trailer showed an expanded playing field and new weapons, but gamers immediately fixated on the graphics, which were so blocky that cynical fans began to joke that Xbox must have mixed up its Halo and Minecraft franchises. Even within Microsoft, there was wide acknowledgement that releasing a half-baked demo was a big mistake. We should have known better and just been honest with ourselves. Philip Spencer, Xbox's head, said in a recent interview with British GQ magazine, "We were not out for deception, but more out of hope." Now, I don't think hope is a great development strategy. I completely agree. Yeah, so that's kind of crazy. Kind of a little insider of how they worked and what they're thinking of, and kind of the reasons why we didn't get what we were promised in a way. So I'll put this article in the description below if you want to read more about it, but yeah, I won't read all of it. There's actually a tweet of a screenshot that he put up, kind of just part of the article as well. It's very interesting. By the summer of 2019, Halo Infinite was in crisis mode. The studio decided to cut out almost 2/3 of the entire planned game, leaving managers to instruct some designers to come into the office and do nothing while the studio figured out the next move. Eventually, the game's open world was cut back from the vast Zelda-like experience into something far smaller. It soon became clear to some on the team that even with the compromises, getting Halo Infinite into decent shape by the following fall would be impossible. Still, the timing of the release didn't seem up for discussion. Microsoft told 343 that it had to be a launch game for the next Xbox, which meant releasing it in November 2020. And there's also a follow-up tweet that Jason put out, giving you a little more insight into this. A couple of tidbits that were trimmed from the article. 343's toolset Faber was so difficult to use that they spent months considering a switch to Unreal. They didn't. The game was delayed multiple times. One early plan was to release multiplayer in 2019 and campaign in 2020. Yeah, it's crazy to think how messy it was behind the curtains, just everything kind of all over the place. This is not a big surprise from 343 Industries or other gaming companies in general, but yeah, it was basically a shit show. And the other thing that I heard about was basically how the developers were on contract by Microsoft, so they would always have to get basically taken off the project, and other developers would be coming in to replace them. That is so incredibly messy. I'm sure it's a common thing that happens, but dude, you're going into game development, you're designing something, and then you have to leave that project, and then someone else is going to come and replace you. As a product designer myself, I would be so upset with that. And it would be such a messy process for me to design it and start it, and then knowing that I would just have to leave that project eventually. I don't know how it is for game designers, but that would be so annoying. But yeah, it looks like what I said before about December 8th, not having any real updates after that. The beta still feeling like a beta for multiplayer. Looks like it's still true. I really hope we get Slayer and we get some other fun playlist modes coming up in the end of the month here, but still kind of a bummer that we have to wait, but I need something from 343 Industries right now. The campaign's really fun, so I'm just going to play that through and enjoy it, but as soon as that's done, I don't know what else I can do. I can't really go back and replay missions, and that really annoys me, so back to multiplayer. But anyways, guys, I just want to give you a really quick update on what's been happening since the release of December 8th. If you like the content, please hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm probably going to do other things, not just Halo, by the way. So, I mean, some other stuff coming up. I just want to get myself kind of up and running with the channel again. But yeah, if you enjoy it, please follow. And until next time, see you guys.